And welcome to another episode of Three Conservative Gimps, where we give you the information for you to make an informed decision at the ballot box. Welcome to the show, everybody. We've got some great topics to discuss this evening. Hope you all are having a kick ass weekend and getting ready for the big holidays coming up here. So let's get this show going all the way from Muskogee, Oklahoma. The dulcet tones and, the Lauren Bacall voice. Let's welcome Lloyd Mendenhall.
Hey Art, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
Oh yeah, it's turned a little nippy here today. I looked at my weather and it'd been drizzling today, and I thought, well, okay, no big deal. So I went and I had to run up to the store, and I thought, well, okay, I don't really need a coat. I got out there, and it was okay in front of my house because all the trees were blocking everything. But as soon as I got out of the van to walk in the store, I about froze to death. It got cold.
Well, it's getting pretty cold down in Alabama. It is so cold that Mary Burke had to put a T-shirt on. Yeah, that's how. Yeah, it was pretty nipply down there too. But hey,
Yeah.
let's welcome all the way from the blue state of New York. Let's welcome Charles, also known as Chaz. Welcome,
Hey,
Charles.
Hey, Lloyd.
Hey,
everybody in the chat.
How's the weather
Hey,
in your
yeah.
neck of the woods?
Cold. Getting colder.
Getting colder? Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I think we've got a cold front coming through. I think by next Friday we may have some snow here in the Denver area. So probably around Saturday or Sunday it'll probably reach Lloyd's neck of the woods.
Probably, yeah. I think we're supposed to start getting cold temps at night here in the next 2 days. It's going to be getting down in the 30s in the next couple of days for nighttime temperatures. So, but
Cool.
yeah.
Cool. I got a package from Catskills Brad. So I got some cool stuff to give away for my Artco show. And this is one of the cool gifts that he gave me. This cool looking pocket knife.
Yeah.
With a Damascus blade.
I was going to say a Damascus seal. Yeah.
Yep. And it's got a multi-level or multi-layered wooden handle with different colored different dyed woods, which is really cool. And so that one is staying with me because it's cool. And one of the things I got was this really cool medal. It's like a coin. It's one side it says no, and on the other side it says yes. And I got a scorpion necklace. It's got two scorpions on it, kind of like a yin yang type.
Yeah.
And a couple packages of baseball cards. So I'll have some cool stuff to give away for the holiday season over there on Artco Drone Solutions. So that's just a few of the things. He also sent me a glass pipe. Don't know what I'd use that for. Well, probably, here in Colorado now that it's legal.
Yeah.
But that probably, I bet you Matt's and Sammy Jean will be at the live stream for that one. They'll be opening up all their other channels to try to win that.
Oh, yeah.
Also,
that's right down their lane. Yeah.
Right. Got the laptop working great. Still working on the vMix stuff. If I could just get the camera to work with vMix through StreamYards, that'd be great. Also, got a 1 terabyte thumb drive that's hooked up to the laptop, so I got a lot of storage right now.
On vMix, are you remembering to put to click the external button down at the bottom?
Yes, I clicked that, and then when I went to start up the show, like 15, 20 minutes prior to the show, I got nothing. So
Did you go into settings and make sure you drop down and pick your camera?
yes, I picked the camera. I picked all the cameras, and none of them would work.
Okay.
Wow.
So we'll have to work on that.
But it's working in vMix though, right? I mean, when you're seeing your camera work, okay. There's something between that and StreamYards that you're having a
right
conflict, and it's just maybe that you don't have the right camera selected.
It could be.
Yeah, because you should just pick up vMix. vMix should be on your list of cameras and just choose that.
It's vMix, and it's like 4 different settings for vMix, and I got nothing working on. So yeah, so we'll figure that out. At least we're getting a little bit closer each week. So what else? That's about it. So I got the address book on the laptop now. So now that I've been sending out Christmas cards. So I got another list of people to ship out, start rolling out this week, and
right.
So maybe over Thanksgiving, I'll get the PC, move back into the living room, and turn it into a server and get hooked up to where my laptop will see it, and I could store files there, and get that all set up. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
So that's what's going on in the political realm. Somebody's got a secret. Yes, Charles.
Well, I was going to say before we get into the meat and potatoes of our show, I have a story that I'd like to share with everybody. And
okay.
I think everybody will probably get a little giggle out of this. Thursday morning, as I was waking up, I was having a dream, and in the background of this dream, something had happened with our house, and Mom and I could not be here for a period of time. At the same time, however, Donald Trump was reelected back into being president of the United States. Somehow he found out about our plight and invited us to go live in the White House with him while we were getting our act together with our house again. And didn't actually speak with him, but he did sort of pass. He came like I was in some sort of a hallway or intersecting room. He came in with a bunch of other people in suits, walked through the room, and then walked back out another door. I was actually just introducing myself to the White House chef, who, at least in my dream, was a young kid, about 25 or 30 years old, with a great big afro. And I'm thinking, White House chef. I gotta see. I gotta get to know this guy better. Maybe there's some stuff I can learn, that I can use when Mom and I get back home. So I said to myself, dude, we got to become bros. How can we make this happen? And he started to answer me, and then I woke up. It was a little silly.
That's a hell of a dream. You never know. Maybe Donald Trump will watch this, and he does get reelected. He'll invite you to stay in the Lincoln bedroom at the White House.
Yeah,
that would be insane.
That would be crazy. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. First, one of the first things we need to bring up involving politics is today First Lady Rosalind Carter passed away.
Yes, that's right. 96 years old.
96 years old. They just announced yesterday or Friday that she was going into hospice care at home. And she didn't last but a day and a half, 2 days at the most.
Right.
So, yeah, I got an update about 2:18 this afternoon, my time, so Central Time. So, and they've been talking about it. You know, they talked a lot about the presidency, and they said it was. They said it wasn't the most successful presidency to ever happen. You know, because they had the oil embargoes, the fuel shortages, they had the Iran hostage crisis, and all of that stuff that was going on, and he was a one-term president because of that.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And from what I heard today, apparently it really struck her. She was pretty bitter about it for a long time. She was pretty upset about it, and they were great humanitarians when after they were presidents.
It's true.
He just wasn't he just wasn't ready for the big league. Which that happens. He was still far and above better than what we got currently sitting in the White House. So
yeah, that's true. Now he may have been a good governor of Georgia, but it's a whole different animal when you're president of the United States, because the responsibility, is 100-fold when you go from governor to being a leader of the free world. And having to do with all the craziness going on around the world, and everything hinges on whatever decision you make. And sadly, we are still experiencing some of the repercussions from some of his horrible decisions that he made 40 years.
That's right now. The Israeli-Hamas war that's going on is a direct result of his not backing the government of Iran and choosing to back the Shah instead, and we've been paying for it ever since.
Yep.
So, but
I
got to say one other thing real quick is I'm pretty proud of our senator here in Oklahoma.
Yes, I saw that, how he kind of, wasn't going to put up with any crap from union guy.
He had full intentions walking over there and whooping that guy's ass.
I believe that.
He said, anytime, anywhere. He says of course, I forget this, but he was an MMA fighter as well. He was my district's congressman, so and he's he has a licensed plumbing company up in Tulsa, Mullins Plumbing, and he's a pretty tenacious guy, and this guy had been picking at him and mouthing off and running off at the mouth, and finally, he said he was. They said he was grabbing his ring, and they're like, what was that about? He says, I was taking it off so it wouldn't hurt my fist when I smacked him.
Right. I love the exchange. He said, yeah, you want to get up? And he goes, no, you get up. That's kind of like saying, yeah, my dad could beat up your dad. It's like,
he stood up and was getting and Barry, Bernie jumped in.
Comes in. Yeah.
Someone needs to whoop that old man's ass too, but that's another story. But I thought it was hilarious, and I can't say, and he says, I'm from Oklahoma. You don't make them kind of challenges if you can't back it up. And he says, you better be prepared to back it up,
That's right.
He and he's got a lot of exposure, and he's not apologizing. He said, well, you're supposed to be an example for your kids. I've told my kids that, he says, brothers and sisters fight. He's got like 4 boys, I think.
Right.
And he says they get in fights. They have to know how they need to. it's the last resort, but it happens. And when, you know, but you can't be bowled over by a bully. And he says, that's something this guy is a bully. And he says, Bernie's the one who invited him in the first place. And yet Bernie's the one who tried to stop the fight, you know, and it's just like,
Right.
Bernie knew what was going to happen. He knew it, you know, he says it was just a photo op for Bernie to show me on my bad side. He says, but I wasn't, he says, I don't apologize.
I think
You know?
it backfired bigly.
Yeah, it backfired. I think old Bernie just, you know, was probably shaking in his little old wrinkled ass boots.
Right. Yeah, you mean his communist boots that he brought back from his honeymoon in Moscow.
In Moscow. Yeah.
Yep. So,
anyways, I'll let you go on with the show now.
all right. So, speaking of the Middle East, we had a congresswoman who was just censured last week, and lo and behold, she's a member of a secret Facebook group that supports who? Hamas, of all people. You know, and this Facebook group is, you know, trying to portray, Hamas is the savior of the people. You know, there's a guy all dressed up and camouflage and has his face covered up with this nice old white grandma. Oh, doesn't that give you the warm fuzzies? Yeah. You know what? That same person would probably slit her throat in a second, if it, which is, man.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just gotten crazy. I mean, it's like that we have somebody like that as a representative in our country. I mean, somebody that is that anti-American. You know, it's okay. They have differing opinions. That's all right. That's fine. You can be from a different religion. That's not a problem either. You can be of a different nationality. That's okay too. But to be that anti-American and be serving on the United States of America's House of Representatives,
Right.
is just, I mean, it's blasphemy at its worst, at its best, and it's treason at its worst. You know,
Right. Now, didn't we? I don't know. It seems to me that didn't we have an ambassador that got fired because he supported, I don't know, this guy in Germany with the funny mustache.
Oh yeah.
Who was? Oh, that was Joseph P. Kennedy. Yeah.
Yes, Joseph P. Kennedy, because he supported Hitler. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Well,
maybe.
so did Neville Chamberlain, and he got fired too.
Yeah. It's just crazy that this is where we become, where, you know, people who, anti-Semitic people and truly racist people can get elected into office and serve. And it's like, you know, I mean, but then again, I mean, look at the Democrats that got elected from the South during the 40s, 50s, and 60s that opposed the civil rights amendment.
Yeah.
And how
Most of
people elected them, but you know what? They weren't anti-American. They weren't trying to destroy the country.
No. They were trying to preserve what they had left of the South after the Reconstruction and all that. You know, it's
so-called war of aggression.
Yes, the Northern War of Aggression, which is called that here in Oklahoma too. But
that's right, because Oklahoma is on the Mason-Dixon line, northern border is. So
and Oklahoma was, of course, at that time was Indian territory, but the tribes, a lot of the leaders of the Cherokee nations fought for the South.
Right.
So, there's a lot of Confederate, and of course, we're right next to right next to Missouri.
Mhm.
You know, we're between Kansas and Missouri, which was, you know, sort of,
Yeah.
you know, because, well, we're below Missouri, but next to next, I forgot, we're below Missouri, we're below Kansas,
We're
but next
below
to,
Kansas
yeah,
next. Yeah.
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 And
Get
so
look at a
I had
globe,
this,
Lloyd.
yeah, no, I had to picture it in my head, and I forgot what's next to us is the Texas Panhandle. So we got the Texas Panhandle on one side, Missouri on the other, and Kansas above, and Arkansas up in one corner. So,
Right.
uh,
Mhm.
and
Oh, and don't forget New
actually,
Mexico.
Missouri's above, and oh, yeah, New Mexico is.
Mhm.
Well, no, we're not. Yeah, over
Yeah,
there
and
in the Panhandle.
way
Yeah,
out there. Yep.
yeah,
Mhm.
we've got we're touching 5 different states.
Yep.
Uh, you know,
Yep.
which is
We
one of the
got
most. Yeah, it's one of the most states. I think I think there's
yeah.
actually one county up there that touches 5 different state, or I forgot how it works out where it's at, but it's a large county, so you know it's got. Well, we got Colorado up there above the Panhandle too, so you
Right.
know,
Mhm.
so yeah,
Yep. Yeah.
yeah,
Missouri and Arkansas to your east,
right.
and you got
Kansas to
Texas
our north, Texas to our south. Yeah,
and New Mexico way out on the west end. Yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
out in the middle
Mhm.
of godforsaken nowhere. The
Yep.
Cimarron Strip is what that was originally called.
Ah, okay. Yep. Have you
So
been to Boise City?
I've been through it.
Yeah, me too. Yep, I
Yeah,
was on
yeah,
my way to Amarillo way back in the comedy days, back in the early
yeah,
90s.
yeah, yeah.
And, you know, is that where Guyman is located out that way?
Out that way, yeah, yeah. Guyman,
Where
Oklahoma's out there
Michael
on the
Brown is from?
where who?
Michael
The what?
Brown.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Homeland Security and FEMA.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
well, he's a radio talk show host here in Denver. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. It's out that direction.
yeah.
It's one strip that is like, you know, it touches, like I said, Colorado, New Mexico, Texas, and Oklahoma,
Mhm.
and I think that's where the county is, and I think parts of Kansas, because the way that's made is just a strip up there, and so there's only like 1 or 2 counties in that whole section up there, pretty
Yep,
big counties, you know.
yep.
So uh, it catches,
Very sparsely
yeah,
populated out that way.
yeah, it is colder than
Oh,
hell too.
how would you like to be a state rep way out there, and you gotta go all the way to Oklahoma City to the capital? Huh. Is
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Oklahoma City is capital.
Well, it
Yeah.
could be worse. It could be down in what they call Little Dixie, down in the corner of the southeastern corner of the state of Oklahoma. That's probably as far away from Oklahoma City as Guyman is, you know, or
Yep, yep.
that
That's.
area.
Mhm.
So, but
Ah,
yeah.
so let's say
Anyways,
hello to everybody in the chat. We
yes,
got Charles Skolusky. We got Michael Coolcat, who should be getting my Christmas card pretty soon if he hasn't
I
gotten it already.
I think
Mark
he
R.
already
White.
I think he has got it. He said,
Oh, okay, wonderful. And we got Andrew. We got Brian, Waypoint, New England. We got Joe Murica, a USA Drone Flyer. Steve Knowles. We got Larry. Larry, hey, okay, cool. And we got Catskills Brad, who gave me all this cool stuff to give away. And we got Lee Beesing of Yellow Rose Drones.
"Yep,
And the Grumpy Vlogger, that'd be Lloyd. And who else? Okay. And
yeah,
probably later in the show, we'll have Grant Mr. S.
Mr. S. Yeah, yeah, and Cool Cat. Yeah, we mentioned Rosalind Carter passing away today. We talked about that at the first of the show, and uh, yeah, you know, I mean, we're talking about the representative getting or the getting censure, okay, that's so what? She's not, it's a slap on the wrist when she should,
Right.
they and there is Grant, Mr.
There's
S is
Grant.
popping in.
Yep. Good to
Yeah.
see it.
And but I mean, there's other things that have you been hearing about I'm sure you have, this idiotic TikTok trend that is going on about the letter to America from Osama bin Laden, and all these young people are saying it's such an eye opener. I didn't realize. I understand why they attacked the United States now.
No,
Yeah.
I don't do TikTok that often.
Well,
Once in a while, I'll
if you've
look
been
at it.
listening to, if you listen to Fox News, you would have probably heard about it because they have one of the big influencers is TikTok has banned their account, and Congress is talking. A lot of the congressional people are talking about. I mean, it's bad. It got spread. They're starting to pull those accounts down. TikTok's finally pulling those accounts down because
Good.
But we're talking the damage is already done. These young people that have been protesting in the streets have been reading this letter to America from Osama bin Laden and think that he's some sort of prophet and that we are the big, they're taking to heart what he said about us. And it's like, because they don't know the history, they said, a lot of people, they've been saying, well, I was only 3 when 9/11 happened, but after reading this, I just didn't realize their justification for attacking us. I can understand it now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's pissed off a shitload of people. And
who's giving those people those stupid ideas? Oh,
China.
It's
our current administration. But but what they're saying is, this is China. China owns TikTok. They're feeding this to these young people. This is how they're affecting us, and it's just it's crazy. I mean, it's been all over the news this weekend and starting Friday. I mean, you're not going to hear it on mainstream media.
No.
But it's, they're not talking about it because but the amount of people that are reading this is, it apparently it struck a nerve because Arnold Schwarzenegger did a video. And if you get a chance to watch it, watch it.
Okay.
It is a very moving video. He actually went to Auschwitz.
Right.
Just recently, and they videotaped it. And he gives the most passionate. He says, he gives it to both sides about talking about hate. He says, but it really come down to what these Jewish people went through, and his father was a Nazi. He says, my father became a crippled man in his mind. He was a drunk. He couldn't live with himself, the things that he did as a Nazi. He says, if you want to follow down that road, then you'll be a loser like they were, and it was just, so if you can, and I'm sure I know it's on YouTube because that's where I saw it, but I think it's on Mojo's, one of the Mojo, MOJO sites.
Right.
Yeah. One of their YouTube channels, because they got like 6 of them, or 10 of them, but it's on one of theirs. But just, it's an amazing, he did whoever wrote his speech really knew what they were doing. And he does a great job of delivering it. And they have captions, so that you can understand his accent, in case people aren't smart. In case people don't understand, I mean, he's pretty plain and pretty plain spoken, but they having the captions there just made it that much clearer. And they showed pictures, and he went through step by step how this came about. And, he says, you young people some of you have chosen a path towards evil. He says, you have it. He says, but I believe everybody, you have to be strong of mind, just like strong of body. He says, it takes work, but you're at that point, you're at a crossroads in your life that maybe you've been led down that wrong path. It's time for you to stop and take account of what this kind of behavior leads to. And
Right.
I mean, it's like a 15 or 17-minute video, but it is worth watching, you know?
Yeah, I think Andrew just posted it in the link.
Okay,
And
good. Yeah. I
also,
figured
I
one of the
want to
guys,
say hello to Ronnie. God bless America. Thanks for coming. We got a good crowd tonight. Wow. We got four.
yeah, we do. Yeah, good.
So,
Yeah, I shared it on Facebook and,
oh, wonderful. Wonderful. Thanks for helping. I've noticed even this channel is starting to grow a little bit. We're getting
yeah,
closer and closer to
we're getting
what,
getting
300?
into an election year. Yeah.
Yes.
You know,
And
we're
oh, and by the way, Art Code just reached 3,400 subscribers.
oh,
So,
sweet. Yeah, I saw that on Facebook. I
yep.
saw you
So
post that.
the shorts are helping. So I've been experimenting with that, and I posted a couple shorts for this channel, and they're really more for this channel because I'm promoting Greg Gutfeld's show, saying, "Yeah, I'm a big fan of
Yeah.
Greg
Yeah.
Gutfeld." And who was the other one? I said, well, I made 3 of them today, so one of them I'll post a little later for tomorrow's show about tomorrow evening, and that's for
Okay.
Victor David Hansen. And oh God, trying to think.
Hey, Steve Carpenter.
Oh, Steve Carpenter, welcome. Good to see you, sir. So yeah, let's grow this channel. The thing is, my watch hours are, even though this is the oldest of the 4 channels that I've got. It was originally Arthur Carlson, and I had some of my
Right.
comedy stuff and
Yeah.
a little bit of this and that, and then it kind of evolved into Artco, and then I started a separate channel for that, and then a fishing channel and a cooking channel. So yeah, and I think because of the holiday season, more people are staying indoors. We're
Yeah.
starting to see an uptick in
Uptick. Yeah.
viewership here, and also it's we're coming into an election year
Yes.
next
Yeah.
year, and I think we'll see an uptick. And if we get the watch hours up, and hopefully I get this monetized and make a few bucks and get this thing growing to where it'll catch on fire and people will say, "Hey, you ought to see these guys. The 3 conservative gimps are pretty. They're a little more serious, but they're kind of on the Gutfeld side of humor. They're a little irreverent, and
Yeah.
so." Ronnie, I'm glad you got your card, and same with you, Michael. Yep.
Okay.
So I got another
Yeah.
batch of cards going out tomorrow, and I'll have some more going out in the next several days, and hopefully in the next 2 weeks or so, I'll have them all mailed out. So that is about it. So what else are we? So have you been seeing videos about this conservative from Western Canada named Pierre? Oh God, I can't pronounce his last name. Poy Lavier. Is that how
Let me
it's
see.
pronounced, Charles?
What?
I would say it's Poilievre.
Poilievre. Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, there's a video of him. He's being interviewed and he's eating an apple. And of course, the interviewer is a leftist. And, he's pulling out all the tropes and misleading questions, like, well, people say, and he goes, Yeah, who? Well, and you just couldn't tell them who those people were that are saying, which is, and that's another tactic leftists
Oh yeah,
uh,
yeah,
journalists like to use. It's really just an opinion, and they disguise it by saying, "Well, people say," well, and I'm starting
yeah.
to
Who?
see more conservatives say, "Yeah, okay, who's saying this?"
Yeah,
And they
yeah,
can't name one person.
yeah.
And it just kind of blows up their question, and they'll say, "Oh, left wing, right." Did I say something about left wing, right? Uh, the
Yeah.
guy was brilliant, and I've seen
I'm gonna
some
have
of
to go
his
watch
other
that. Yeah,
videos at what is it? Their version of Parliament in Ottawa, where he's just going right at Trudeau, and it's like,
yeah,
holy crap, we need more guys like him here in this country.
I know.
yeah. And Canada has it. Who's the what's her name? She ran for president. She said she was Native American, and turned out she wasn't.
Oh,
Senator
Oh,
yeah,
Elizabeth
Warren.
Warren.
Elizabeth Warren. Well, Canada's
Yeah.
got their own Elizabeth Warren now. One of their
Oh,
top, one of their top native or indigenous persons, uh, singers and songwriters, and just has been out there out front. Got just completely, yeah. Of course, her story is that she was raised or she was born on the Six Nation reservation, and then was adopted by some people. She's supposed to be Cree Indian, which is one of the tribes of Canada, and
right.
but she was adopted and raised by some nice white people in Wisconsin or someplace like that, and
Hmm.
she's been doing this now. And she's like in her late 60s, early 70s, and
Wow.
she's been going with this story, and finally, turns out she was never adopted.
Oh,
They actually went to the registrar's office where all birth certificates, and the lady that is in charge went into the vault and found her original birth certificate that says she was born to the parents that raised her. Her mother was her mother. Of course, her parents
uh-huh.
are dead because she's in her late 60s, early 70s now.
Right.
But her sister says, my parents never said anything about her being adopted. This didn't come about. She didn't start talking about being adopted and being a native or indigenous persons of Canada until, she did. Her songs weren't selling, so she suddenly becomes indigenous, and now it's selling. And says
Okay.
she's been doing this for 50 years, and it's all a
Wow.
lie. I mean,
Wow.
she's made herself to look. It turns out she's Italian, or
Oh,
Italian, I should say.
yeah.
Yeah, her parents were Italian. She was Italian. She's not native anything. You know.
Well, and,
Uh,
and and going back to Elizabeth Warren, when she took that DNA test, it found 0% of leadership quality.
yeah, yeah. It was just amazing that this lady has been doing this for 50 years, and has been received awards and adulation and all this stuff
Mhm.
from all of the tribes there supporting. They're out there beating their drums and shouting their war cries or whatever it is they do. At their stomps and stuff, and she's I've probably got more Native American in me than she has.
Yeah,
And I
me
don't
too.
have anything that uh I
You
got the
had
same
more
family.
Native American you had in other women.
Yeah, yeah. Well, what the heck? I got stuff just. My computer is trying to do updates all of a sudden. I don't know
Uh,
why the hell it's just right now to do it. And
well,
I
and
got stuff
you know
popping
what?
up.
I could claim I was a former center for the Denver Nuggets back in the 80s.
Okay.
Yeah, or power forward. you know.
For power
And
forward,
say,
yeah.
hey, I was rubbing elbows with Alex English and Dan Issel. Yeah.
I would have thought that you were more like the Puck.
Hey,
You know.
I used to slam dunk past Manute Bowl.
Okay.
He was another really short
Really short
basketball.
person, yeah.
Buds, who was that? Buds Mill. No, there was Bugsy somebody, and he was a short guy. He was like maybe
Yeah.
5'6".
Yeah. And yesterday, I got to tell you this. Judy felt good. We got out of the house, so I took her over to Hobby Lobby. I had to pick up some stuff I needed, and she wanted to pick up some stuff, and we were just, taking the afternoon and just chilling, right? So we're sitting there. Would you shut up? I got one dog barking back there, and this one's barking here, and I'm hearing them both come through one through my headsets and one through getting stereo dog barks. I'm gonna throw something with them
Just
damn.
showed up, and that's why they're going crazy.
No, it's not that. It's just I don't know what the hell's going on. But anyway, so Judy and I are sitting there in the parking lot after I'd loaded up and just kind of relaxing for a minute before I take off driving, and kind of the parking spot caddy corner from me on the the next lane over, but facing me, but one spot over. Okay, this little bitty car pulls in. And I mean, it looked like it was smaller than a Volkswagen, little Nissan, a 2-door Nissan, just a cute little old 2-door Nissan. It really looked neat, but I'm thinking, it wasn't quite as small as a Mini Cooper, but it wasn't much bigger. Okay, and I saw this person sitting there from the chest up. I told Judy, I said, watch, some big old 6'6", guy that's 400 pounds is going to get out of that damn little car. The door opens, the head goes straight out. The head never got above the top of the car. Comes walking around, and it's a little gal that's probably 4'8", 4'9" at the most. She was perfectly proportioned for this car.
There you go.
I didn't see that coming. Because I told you to watch some big old guy, 6 foot something, crawling out of that little bitty car weighing 400 pounds. She was a little meaty, but she couldn't. I mean, when she stepped out of the car, her head never came above the roof, and this was a little bitty ass car. So I just cracked up laughing, Well, I got taught a lesson on that. I need a cigarette to clear out my lungs there.
There you go.
Yeah. But yeah, it was funny, but somebody you could look up to.
Yeah. So this politician, he's known as the common sense conservative.
Yeah.
And he's been railing against Trudeau, jet setting on his private jet to some, Hollywood get together. And while he wants a 41 cent a liter carbon tax put on gasoline, it's going to cost the average Canadian $1,500. I don't know, a year or a month, but it's like, wow, that's really going to put a squeeze on the average Canadian. So,
yeah, I got to do something here.
Okay. And did you know that 80% of Canada's population is down in the down below the northernmost border of the United States?
What you said, Charles, because I was going to do the same thing. So yeah, okay. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, that's why I've fixed and write you that in the chat, and I haven't see what you write. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. Yep, yeah.
Thank you, whoever's. Yeah, I don't know who
Yeah.
Larry is.
Yeah, I don't either. Well, you said something about it when it first started, and it's like I've been watching. I happened to glance up and see that last little snarky comment and thought,
Right,
okay, yeah, this
right.
guy needs to. I was going to write something to you guys in the private chat and see that Charles had already caught it too. So yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
That's why I was saying I got to do something here. That's why I was fixing it. Yeah, we don't need. You know, I mean, that's his only
Right,
answer. If it was an intelligent, entertaining dialogue,
right.
everybody's entitled to their opinions,
Yeah.
and obviously his opinion is different than ours, but no need
Yep.
to, get
Personal attacks.
Yeah.
verbal attacks like that,
Hmm.
and I don't know what they were going on about, anyways. It's just like
Yeah. Just,
Walmart patriotism. What's Walmart patriotism, by the way? I'd like that explained to me.
yeah.
Because I
Yeah,
try not to shop at Walmart. Most of their crap comes from China, anyways. I try not to shop there.
But here's the thing about Walmart. Everybody is always railing against Walmart. All they did was they shop around for the best way to get products that we want at a lower price, and they were able
Yeah.
to deliver that, and that's how they became so successful, and they started opening up stores all over the country.
Well,
and
they started right next door in Bentonville, Arkansas. I mean, we had when they originally came out here in Muskogee, it was across town. The first one was when I first moved here. It was called Walmart's Discount City.
Mhm.
And they just sold stuff cheaper.
yeah, and they bought in bulk, and
Right.
were able to do it in a
She
way
just laughed at me, Andrew.
where they
I just
yeah, okay.
yeah. They just they bought in bulk and tried to make a and when Sam Walton was alive, it was a different it was a lot different than it is now. Now it becomes his kids and his grandkids run it, and
Yep.
they've
By the way, they own the Denver Broncos now.
well, that and that has a lot to do.
Tonight. Yeah.
Yeah. And we watch some of the shows we watch, like on Hulu and stuff like that. We see these advertisements and they pop up for Amazon a lot. Amazon is, I started out, and first day I went to work at Amazon, I got a health insurance and blah 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 and all this stuff. And this one guy says, I learned how to do stuff for Siri or whatever it is that is that Amazon's what do they call that?
Oh, like Alexa.
Alexa, not Siri. Alexa. Siri is for Apple.
Yeah.
Stop. Alexa, stop. God, I didn't even know that was plugged in. Now my dogs are going nuts. But anyways, so this gal says, I work for, that device. And,
Right.
they just announced this week that they're laying off a whole bunch of people from that division because they're going to keep it, but now they're upgrading to use a better AI interface. So some of the stuff that they were doing with it, they're going away from, and they're making it fit with more, because it's being used across everything,
Right.
along with Siri and along with other devices, Google Play and all that stuff. So they're stepping away. I thought it was funny that they have this advertisement. I went to work in this department. That's the department that just got hammered this week.
Right.
Here in the United States, I think in Canada, and I think it was funny. It says, And next week, the people in India will be notified that they're being laid off. Like, well, you just did it, you idiots. They don't need to be notified now.
Yep.
Like, okay, that was well planned out. You know, if you're going to fire them, fire. You know, this is just 5 weeks before Christmas, and they're laying off all these people. Like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yep.
Jeff, you're doing a great job there.
Yep.
Oh, he's not even involved with that anymore.
No,
Remember, he stepped down.
oh,
He didn't
that's
get
right.
rid of the
He's
stock, but he stepped down as CEO.
that's
Yeah.
right. He's too busy playing with the flying.
Oh,
Or
the flying penis. Yeah.
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 Which, by the way, the company I work for builds components for that.
Phallic me to the moon.
Oh, and also, you guys saw what happened with the Starship.
No, what happened?
It went kablooey.
Hey, I need to step away. I think Judy's trying to get in touch with me. All right. I'll be
Okay.
back in just a minute.
All right. And, okay. You know what? I'm going to mute him so we don't hear barking dogs.
Mhm.
And so, anyway, Starship launched, and partway up, they had a unexpected disassembly, where I guess some of the, the structural pressures on some of the piping caused the the fuel lines to break loose and spew out the side of the engine or the fuselage. And however, it did separate. This 2 stages separated, but it was the booster that kind of tumbled out of control and finally did explode. But hopefully, and you know, whenever they have a catastrophe like that, they learn something new and they incorporate that into the next ship, and it'll be
Sure they
that
do.
much better. Where the first fiasco was, they forgot to use water suppression and kind of reinforce the launch pad, because when they launched without the water suppression, pieces of concrete were bouncing back up into the engine chamber and knocked out several of the engines on the way up. So they learned something from that, and now they'll go back in and they'll look at all the sensor data, and they'll figure out what the heck happened and fix that the next time. So fortunately, they were unmanned flights, so no one was injured or killed, which is good. Yep. Where you got the Falcon Heavy, which has been successful, and I will unmute Lloyd.
Thank you. Yeah. I know what the dogs are barking now. I figured out Judy was trying to get hold of me to come in there. She didn't have her phone next to her, and it turned out it was on my side of the bed. She was yelling at me on the, she had the YouTube channel brought up, was yelling at me, but I couldn't hear it because it's not two-way communications.
Ah, okay.
So I got to set her her Amazon device up so she can just call me through the, through that, you know.
All right.
So anyways,
that's
what the dogs were barking about.
Any other interesting things happening in politics? We had the guy from Oklahoma almost got into a brawl during the hearing, which I saw the video and I'm like, oh, wow.
He was pissed. I've seen some videos afterwards. I've seen some of his interviews. He was not playing. You know, said he said, they're saying, would you really have? He says, yes, I had full intentions of it. You know, he says, Bernie's the one who invited this idiot.
Right. Yep. That's right.
Yes,
Andrew. Bernie broke up the fight.
I do, Ronnie.
Yep.
Or no, I actually have a camera system, not a baby monitor, but I have a camera system. I just didn't have the volume up where I could hear it. I had it muted.
Yeah, most guys like to have a mute on their wife.
Yeah.
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 I mean, that worked for hardcore Fenton Mud. Shut up, Stella.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But anyways, no, I don't have anything new to add. I mean, nothing. Like I said, we've been having all these protests and all these young people that the
Supporting
anti-Semitism.
Hamas.
Yeah, Hamas.
Yeah.
I was like, are you friggin' crazy? I mean,
and how about these stop oil protests over in Europe that are blocking traffic? And I love how some of these drivers are just they've
running them over. Yeah, they've had it.
Oh, there was one up. Where was that? North Dakota, where the police car just plowed right through those people.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Well, and then there's this guy that was at one of those. He was pro-Palestine, and another guy was pro-Israel. And the pro-Palestine got pissed off, hit the old man. And they were both old men, but he hit him with the megaphone. Guy fell down, cracked his head, ended up dying from a brain bleed. They've arrested that old man, that other old man. And that's what needs to be done. We need to quit letting this stuff. This is what happens when you got open borders like this. We got Hamas all through this country now, in my opinion. I have no doubt about it.
It's just crazy, and
things like TikTok and these secret channels of Facebook that are promoting teaching these young people this, because they don't know the history. They're not talking about 9/11 anymore. They're not talking about teaching that crap and
because
stuff in history. They're teaching crap.
People's feelings,
Yeah.
It might be too disturbing. They don't want to talk about the Holocaust in college anymore. That's why you have channels like the World War II and War Against Humanity. By the way, they just released a very good video about the resistance in the Philippines. And I just found my dad's itinerary when I was moving files over to my laptop. And I discovered on November 15th, my dad landed at Leyte, Philippines, 1944, November 15th. And funny, this video was talking about that same exact thing. And I just mentioned that, don't forget, you didn't mention that Ferdinand Marcos was also in the Bataan Death March.
Yes.
Who escaped from the POW camp. And then I mentioned the relic that my dad brought back from the Philippines, a Chris dagger. A Chris is a squiggly blade, either a sword or a dagger. And the one I have is like an 8-9 inch blade on it. And
it'd be a knife for Charles and I. It'd be a dagger for Charles and I. It's a sword for you. Sort of like
that's
sort of like what Sting was that name?
From Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. Lord of the Rings, Sting. Yeah.
Oh, and you know what? That blade is pretty hefty too. So if I needed to defend myself, it'd be heavy enough for slashing as well.
Yeah.
So we managed to do a little over an hour, and a great show, lively discussion. We had some left-wing nut jobs. Hey, that means that this channel is reaching out to some of those people.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that encourages me. That's great. So
Yeah,
please
yeah.
spread the word. Let's grow this channel like crazy. I would love it if I get the Ken Heron or Ken Dobo type response to this channel when we do a live stream. Would be
Yeah.
awesome. And so
Yeah.
everybody have a kick ass Thanksgiving Day weekend. And guys, any last questions or comments?
No. I just, like you, wish everybody, those here in the States, a happy Thanksgiving. Those in Canada and the UK and Australia, enjoy the
Screw
day.
ya.
Yeah. Enjoy the
Enjoy the day. Yeah.
day.
Watch
Take
football
care.
on the satellite,
Yeah, there you go. Have a great weekend. We'll catch you next time. God bless. Bye bye.
Good night, folks.
Good night, everyone.